When people think of demonic possession, one name always comes to mind: The Exorcist. Released in 1973, it didn't just redefine horror, it changed how people viewed faith, evil, and the supernatural itself. The movie's power didn't come from cheap scares or gore. It came from something far older, something that felt real. At the center of it all was one of cinema's most terrifying forces, a demon that didn't just haunt a child, but mocked God, humanity, and the idea of innocence itself. That demon's name is Pazuzu. But who or what is Pazuzu? Where does this name come from? And why did the Exorcist choose this demon, out of thousands in mythology, to embody ultimate evil? Let's go back thousands of years, long before Regan MacNeil ever touched that Ouija board. The story of Pazuzu begins in ancient Mesopotamia, one of the earliest civilizations in human history. To the Assyrians and Babylonians, Pazuzu wasn't originally seen as a pure embodiment of evil. He was a powerful spirit of the wind, often depicted as a winged creature with the body of a man, the head of a lion or dog, and talons like an eagle. His face was monstrous, wide eyes, a gaping mouth, and horns, but his role was complicated. Pazuzu was said to control the southwest wind, which brought droughts, storms, and disease. He was feared because his power could bring destruction, but he was also invoked for protection, especially against Lamishtu, a female demon who preyed on pregnant women and infants. People would wear small Pazuzu amulets or place statues in their homes to keep Lamishtu away. In that sense, Pazuzu was both a destroyer and a protector, a demon of chaos who could also ward off worse evils. But over time, as cultures changed and religions evolved, Pazuzu's dual nature faded. He became known solely as a symbol of possession, plague, and corruption. That's the version of Pazuzu that found its way into The Exorcist. When William Peter Blatty wrote the original novel in 1971, he based it loosely on a real exorcism that took place in 1949. A boy, referred to only as Roland Doe, was reportedly possessed after attempting to contact his deceased aunt using a spirit board. The Catholic Church performed a series of exorcisms, during which strange phenomena were reported: objects moving, guttural voices, markings on the boy's skin. This case became the foundation for The Exorcist. But when Blatty and director William Friedkin brought the story to film, they decided to go beyond the Christian framework and reach deeper, into something older and more mysterious. That's where Pazuzu entered the story. In the film's opening sequence, we see Father Marin at an archaeological dig site in Iraq. He uncovers a small statue of a demonic figure, wings spread, mouth snarling. Locals call it an evil spirit. Marin recognizes it immediately. That statue is Pazuzu. And from that moment, his shadow follows the film all the way to Georgetown, where a young girl named Regan MacNeil begins to change. At first, Regan seems like any 12-year-old child. She's curious, friendly, and innocent. Her mother, Chris, is a successful actress raising her alone. But as strange noises echo through the house, as Regan's behavior turns violent and erratic, it becomes clear that something else is living inside her. Doctors fail to find an explanation. Psychiatrists call it hysteria, but the truth is darker. Regan has become a vessel for Pazuzu. It's never explained how he reaches her. The film only shows her playing with a Ouija board, speaking to someone she calls Captain Howdy. It's implied that Captain Howdy is Pazuzu, the same trickster spirit that first appears to her as something harmless. That's the brilliance of the story. Evil doesn't arrive with fire and brimstone. It whispers. It pretends to be friendly until it's already inside. Once possessed, Regan's transformation is one of the most horrifying in cinema history. Her voice deepens into something ancient and mocking. Her body contorts unnaturally. She speaks in languages she's never learned. But the most disturbing part isn't what she does, It's what she says. Throughout the possession, Pazuzu doesn't just attack Regan physically. He attacks everyone's faith. He mocks Father Karras about his dead mother. He twists holy prayers into blasphemies. He laughs at human weakness. That's what sets Pazuzu apart from most cinematic demons. He doesn't just seek destruction. He seeks corruption. He wants to humiliate belief, to strip away the illusion that anyone is safe, pure, or sacred. In Mesopotamian legend, Pazuzu represented chaotic forces of nature, unstoppable, uncaring. In The Exorcist, that idea becomes spiritual chaos, an evil that exists simply to undo all meaning. The exorcism scenes show this perfectly. Father Marin and Father Karras, standing in Regan's room, surrounded by the stench of decay and the freezing cold, face an entity that knows their thoughts, their fears, and every sin they've ever committed. The more they fight it with faith, the more it twists that faith into despair. At one point, Karras screams, "If you're the devil, why not make the straps disappear?" Pazuzu answers, through Regan's broken voice, "That would be too vulgar a display of power." That line reveals everything about his character. Pazuzu doesn't want to prove himself, he wants to break people. He feeds on their disbelief. He doesn't need to win through strength, only through hopelessness. What many people miss is that the Exorcist never clearly identifies Pazuzu as Satan. The church in the film assumes it's the devil himself, but the statue, the symbolism, and the lore point specifically to Pazuzu. This detail makes the story even more terrifying. If this is Satan, if it's only one of his kings, then the scope of evil in this world is far larger than anyone imagined. In the Ars Goetia, the kings of hell each rule legions of demons. Pazuzu's domain was disease, famine, and madness, all of which manifest in Regan's suffering. Her skin rots, her body weakens, her mind fractures. She becomes the physical embodiment of everything he represents. But what does Pazuzu want? In both the film and the mythology, Pazuzu doesn't seek destruction for its own sake. He wants attention, reverence, and control. He wants to assert himself over creation, to prove that even a child's innocence can be corrupted. That's why he targets Regan. She's young, pure, untouched by the world. To possess her is to corrupt something sacred. By doing that, Pazuzu doesn't just hurt the family, he wounds faith itself. Every priest, every believer who witnesses her transformation is forced to question the strength of their God. That's his real victory. When Father Marin returns in the film's final act, it's not his first encounter with Pazuzu. The opening in Iraq wasn't a coincidence. Years earlier, Marin had faced this same demon in Africa during an exorcism that nearly killed him. He recognizes the statue because he's seen it before, he's fought it before, and he knows that Pazuzu isn't just possessing Regan's body. He's trying to destroy everyone around her. The battle between Marin and Pazuzu is both physical and spiritual. It's age versus innocence, faith versus corruption. Marin dies during the ritual, his heart giving out under the strain. Father Karras, broken by guilt and rage, makes the ultimate sacrifice. He invites the demon into himself, "Come into me, take me," and then throws himself out the window, ending his life and breaking the possession. It's a tragic victory. Regan survives, but both priests are dead. Evil is expelled but not destroyed. Because Pazuzu, like all ancient forces, can't be killed. He only retreats, waiting for another opportunity. Over the years, The Exorcist spawned sequels and prequels that expanded on Pazuzu's mythology. In Exorcist II, The Heretic, we learn more about Marin's earlier battle with the demon in Africa. Pazuzu is portrayed as an ancient spirit of the air, a being that feeds on fear and controls locusts. Though the film was controversial, it reinforced the idea that Pazuzu's influence spans continents and centuries. In The Exorcist, The Beginning and Dominion prequel films from the 2000s, we see Marin's first confrontation with Pazuzu directly. Again, the demon manifests through possession, targeting faith and human weakness. These later films show what Blatty and Friedkin only hinted at. Pazuzu is a spirit of temptation and chaos, not a cartoon villain. His goal isn't to conquer humanity, it's to expose its fragility. And that's why The Exorcist still feels real 50 years later. The demon isn't some supernatural monster from a distant world. He's a reflection of everything people fear most: losing control, losing faith, losing identity. He doesn't attack armies or nations. He attacks one family, one child, one priest, because that's enough to shake the world. Even the final shot of the film leaves a question hanging in the air. The priest's collar, the wind, the sense that something unseen still watches. Pazuzu may have been banished, but his presence remains. Because once you've looked into that face, that grinning statue from the desert, you understand the film's real message. Evil isn't somewhere far away. It's waiting quietly in the cracks of ordinary life. Pazuzu was born thousands of years before Christianity. He survived countless civilizations, changing shape each time. From a wind demon of the desert, to a spirit in an amulet, to the entity that turned a young girl's bedroom into a battlefield for the soul of mankind. That's why The Exorcist endures. It isn't just about possession. It's about how small we are in the face of something ancient, invisible, and merciless. And whether you believe in demons or not, Pazuzu represents something that never goes away, the possibility that what we call evil isn't just a human invention. It's a constant, a shadow that's always been with us. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the demon in The Exorcist, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more horror lore, mythology, and deep dives into classic horror films. And tell me, do you think Pazuzu was truly defeated, or was the ending only a pause in his story?